It is the start of the new year 2025. Expectedly, it comes with a lot of renewed aspirations and expectations. And for us at the Nigerian Army Info TV, we are more committed to bring you news, updates, policies and operational breakthroughs of the Nigerian Army troops across theaters of engagement. Don't forget, this is Soja Weekly Update, episode 16 in the series of our commitment to always provide you authentic information from the Nigerian Army. I am Francisca Bile, your anchor. Welcome. Welcome back from that break. Before we go to the stories, don't forget to subscribe and like our YouTube channel, Nigerian Army Info TV, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Now to the news. Chief of Army Staff declares Nigerian Army Doctrine and Training Conference 2025 open, says Nigerian Army has prioritized equipment upgrade and manpower boost. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has declared the Doctrine and Training Conference for the year 2025 open in Minna on Tuesday, 7th January 2025. While addressing participants, the Chief of Army Staff clarified that the conference offers a veritable platform for in-depth deliberations on the implementation of doctrine and training directives in the Nigerian Army for the year 2025 and beyond. He added that the conference is in tandem with the mandate of Training and Doctrine Command Nigerian Army to lead the effort in shifting the paradigm in personnel training as contained in the Nigerian Army Training Directive 2025. General Oluyede identified the four key pillars of his command philosophy as leadership, sound administration, professionalism, and combat readiness, which he said highlights the importance of doctrine within the Nigerian Army.
As you have noticed, my command philosophy is built on four key pillars, which are leadership, sound administration, professionalism, and combat readiness. The combat readiness pillar explicitly addresses the importance of doctrine within the Nigerian Army. This is simply because doctrine outlines how the Army fights today's wars by defining standard processes, practices, tactics, techniques, and procedures. Thus, at the tactical level, actions are guided by established doctrine or drills that outline how to execute tasks covertly.
He reiterated his commitment to vigorously pursuing realistic training, adequate troops sustenance, pragmatic equipment procurement and maintenance, stressing that these are critical requirements for combat readiness and operational success in the Nigerian Army. The Chief of Army Staff expressed optimism that the conference will thoroughly assess Nigeria's current security and defense environment, critically evaluate the Nigerian Army's training curriculum, and propose new ideas on how the Nigerian Army trains and fights. Delivering his welcome address, the Commander Tradoc, Major General Kevin Alibe, pointed out that the conference sets the tone for training activities in all the Nigerian Army training schools and institutions by drawing inspiration from the extant Nigerian Army's proactive responsive doctrine to guide the training on how troops fight. He stated that the tailor-made approach to training is to develop the capacity to respond to the multifaceted and sometimes mutating security challenges the Nigerian Army is tasked to mitigate.
It is important to remind us at this juncture that doctrine stipulates how an army is organized, trained, and fights. It determines the order of battle and expresses how military forces contribute to campaigns, major operations, battles, and engagements. It is therefore important for us as officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army to be able to inculcate the Nigerian Army Doctrine 2022, which is based on the philosophy of proactive responsive doctrine in our training in order to be effective during operation.
Major General Aligbe harped on the importance of the Nigerian Army, collaborating with sister services and other government security agencies, as well as non-governmental stakeholders, to secure the country or economic prosperity and development. In another news, Chief of Army Staff reiterates commitment to personnel housing, commissions post-housing development corporate headquarters in Abuja. In a significant milestone, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, on Thursday, 9th January 2025, commissioned the newly constructed headquarters Post-Service Housing Development Limited as part of his cardinal welfare schemes towards provision of befitting affordable post-service accommodation for personnel of the Nigerian Army. Commissioning the edifice, the Chief of Army Staff commended the company for addressing the housing needs of Nigerian Army personnel. He noted that the new headquarters will provide better space and modern facilities for quality business engagements, strengthening the company's profile as a reputable business entity in Nigeria's real estate development industry.
The Nigerian Army is proud of this rebranded Post-Service Housing Development Limited that can deliver quality projects as and when due. The building such as this enhances the status of a business organization and less prestige that attracts other businesses. I believe this new building offers better space and modern facilities for quality business engagements that will further strengthen this company.
He recalled the similar landmark project executed by the PHDL under the auspices of the Affordable Home Ownership Option for All Sojas, AHOAS, located at Idu, noting that the importance of a befitting corporate headquarters such as the one commissioned for the PHDL is crucial in enhancing the status of a business organization and lends prestige that will attract other businesses. The Chief of Army Staff expressed gratitude to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his tireless support and continuous guidance, adding that the Nigerian Army continued to focus its energy and resources on ensuring the actualization of its commitment to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians and promote the social welfare of its personnel.
The Nigerian Army remains ever grateful to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, for his tireless support and continuous guidance to the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army shall remain focused and channel its energy and resources towards ensuring the actualization of Mr. President's commitment to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians and promote social welfare of his people.
Earlier in his remarks, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer PHDL, Major General Joseph O'Malley, said the project commissioned consists fully equipped corporate headquarters, fully furnished 3 blocks of flats of 2 bedrooms each, regimented Sergeant Major's office, motor transport yard, cafeteria with a VIP section, as well as a place of worship for the Christians and Muslims.
This newly constructed corporate headquarters represents a new dawn in the history of the Post-Service Housing Development Limited and will serve as a professional trademark towards the company's mandate of providing modern shelter with global best practice.
Other facilities in the complex include parking lots, lift movement facility, solar power source, firefighting equipment, and a borehole, among others. Meanwhile, Chief of Army Staff reaffirms commitment to peace, security, and personnel welfare. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has reaffirmed his commitment to peace, security, and personnel welfare and enhanced operational capabilities. He reaffirmed this on Thursday, 9th January 2025, during the familiarization visit of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ambassador Gabriel Tanimu Aduda, to the Nigerian Army Headquarters, Abuja. Chief of Army Staff congratulated the Permanent Secretary on his appointment emphasizing the good working relationship between the Nigerian Army and the Ministry of Defense. He stressed the vital role of the Nigerian Army in securing the country and the importance of personnel welfare as one of his cardinal objectives. The Chief of Army Staff highlighted the need for additional accommodation for troops and combat enablers to boost operational efficiency. He urged the ministry to support the realization of some of the Nigerian Army's demands, assuring that the Nigerian Army remains committed to peace, security, and economic prosperity in Nigeria.
Personnel welfare is one of the cardinal objectives of this team here, because we take the welfare of our men very seriously. And recall in office, I told you that over 40% of the army currently are not accommodated. That's something very worrisome. I took that to Mr. President, who is ready to support us. But we're looking at how we can make things better for our soldiers. We're aware that they need to be well taken care of.
Earlier, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ambassador Gabriel Tanimo, stated that the ministry is fully committed to collaborating with the Nigerian Army to enhance strategic, operational, and tactical efficiency in defense of national sovereignty.
We want to pledge our absolute support, our absolute collaboration, our absolute cooperation to advancing the goals and aspirations of the armed forces.
He pledged absolute cooperation and support to advance the goals and aspirations of the armed forces. Now to some other news from the commands. General Officer Commanding 6th Division commissions multiple projects at Ilele Barracks, urges commanders to prioritize troops' welfare. The General Officer Commanding 6th Division Nigerian Army, Major General Jamal Abdul Salam, has called on commanders in the division to continue to prioritize the welfare of their personnel and their families. He gave the advice recently when he commissioned several projects at 343 Artillery Regiment, Ilele Barracks, Rivers State. The GOC stressed that the projects commissioned were in line with Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede command philosophy, which is to consolidate the transformation of the Nigerian Army towards bequeathing a well-motivated and combat-ready force that can effectively discharge its constitutional responsibilities within a joint and multi-agency environment. Major General Abdul Salam further disclosed that in most decisions taken by Chief of Army Staff, his soldiers' first ideology has been key.
All the projects are projects that impact directly on the well-being of our soldiers. And the government has so many things to do, so they will not concentrate only on renovating our barracks. Therefore, we have to use the opportunity and take the initiative to also see what we can do at our own levels. It is only when we do that that we support the government and we make the lives of our soldiers better.
He called on commanding officers to key into the Chief of Army Staff Soja's first initiative and use it as a driving force in all their endeavors. He also urged the commanding officers to make use of the limited resources at their disposal for the benefit of their troops. He commended the commanding officer 343 Artillery Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Khan, for embarking on meaningful projects that uplift the living standards of troops and their families. He urged the occupants of the newly renovated block to come together and maintain the facility for the benefits of themselves and their families, stressing that to whom much is given, much is expected. Earlier, the commanding officer 343 Artillery Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Edward Khan, thanked the General Officer Commanding and other senior officers who graced the event. The projects commissioned include 200 meters road linking senior non-commissioned officers' quarters to the medical center, a lawn tennis court, squash hall, and indoor sports and recreational center. This is the size of our package in this episode of the program Soja Weekly Updates. Thank you for your time always. Join us again in our next episode. Remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and other social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and X. As we go, I leave you with this message. My patriotism should include my responsibility to help secure our country. I am Francisca Bile.